We have now made it to the top 10 in our countdown of the NFL's most disappointing teams of the Super Bowl era. The 1998 Kansas City Chiefs were our last stop, paving the way to our number 10 team. We'll be getting to them in just a moment, but first, let's talk about C-Score. C-Score is a metric created by this channel to get away from judging teams solely by their records, instead giving them a full and proper evaluation. For a deeper explanation about how C-Score works, be sure to check out the description of this video. Every team that makes it onto this list did so by achieving the following: a positive C-score one season, a higher C-score the next season that surpassed 15, then a negative C-score the next season, with this one serving as the disappointment. The larger the drop from season 2 to season 3, the higher that disappointment will rank. In one sense, it's surprising that the New York Jets have yet to appear on this countdown until now. In another sense, not so much, because they haven't had a whole lot of great seasons. The 1983 squad gets it done though, taking our number 10 spot. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please give this video a like and at least a share or two. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell. The JETS are now HERE. The 1981 New York Jets found their way to a 10-5-1 record. Their offensive and defensive rankings are balanced, but this team was led by its defense. Playing the league's easiest schedule helped matters, but it did cap their C-score at 5.926. The 1970s were not a good time for the New York Jets. They had as many winning seasons that decade as the Jacksonville Jaguars, who of course only came into existence in 1995. To be fair, they did have 4 500 seasons. A bad 1980 didn't leave much hope for 1981, but the Jets were ready for the league, even if the league wasn't ready for the Jets. It looked like more of the same after an 0-3 start, including 2 different losses by at least 28 points. They would only lose to one other team the rest of the way, a season sweep to the Seattle Seahawks, during a time where NFL scheduling quirks sometimes saw teams play each other twice even when they weren't in the same division. Otherwise, they were 10-0-1, with 7 of those wins by multiple possessions. This was good enough to grab the AFC's top wildcard spot, not only marking the Jets' first playoff appearance since the AFL-NFL merger, but also becoming the first ever team to make the playoffs after an 0-3 start. The season ended the way it started though, with a loss to the Buffalo Bills. They gave up 31 points in each of those games, but this time they at least scored 27 instead of being shut out. Given their recent history, this season was an unqualified success, and they were ready to turn that into something real in 1982. The 1982 season was, of course, a weird time, with only 9 regular season games played. The Jets won 2/3 of those games though, doing so with a plus 79 point differential, the second highest total in the league. Against a top 5 schedule, they land a robust C-score of 27.068. In the intro to their 1981 season, we mentioned the Jets' defense. That was highlighted by one of the greatest team nicknames in NFL history, the New York Sack Exchange. Marty Lyons and Abdul Salam on the inside, first team All-Pro Mark Gastineau, and future Hall of Famer Joe Klecko on the outside. They wreaked havoc on opposing defenses, but this year, they had an offense to not only supplement them, but perhaps outshine them. Second-year running back Freeman McNeil led the league in rushing. Wesley Walker led an unheralded receiver corps, and center Joe Fields anchored a solid offensive line. In the end, the Jets' defense ranked 6th in the league, the offense ranked 4th. Because of the shortened season though, division standings were ignored and a single 8-team playoff field was created in each conference. Due to a series of tiebreakers, the Jets ended up with the 6th seed, but they proved their worth once the playoffs began. They crushed the defending AFC champion Bengals 44-17 in Cincinnati. They then went to Los Angeles and took out the number 1 seeded Raiders 17-14. Now in the actual AFC Championship game, the offense, shining so bright all season, failed to show up on a field more suited to mud wrestling than it was to football. The Jets and the Dolphins combined for 24 completed passes out of 58 attempts, 9 turnovers, and 14 points. It's just that all 14 points went to Miami, and the Jets' promising season was over with the sinking feeling that slightly different circumstances could have landed them in the Super Bowl. Given the abbreviated season, it's fair to believe that it should be discounted from this or maybe from any analysis. With the playoffs included, the Jets played 12 games, 75% of the scheduled 16, and 86% of the 14 that was standard just 5 years earlier. This, along with the Jets' overall performance, means they deserve their flowers. It also means that they deserve that smoke. 2 years of such great promise slowly crumbled away during their frustrating 1983 campaign. Everything here looks around the middle of the road, a 7-9 record, a negative 18-point differential, and a so-so strength of schedule. In accumulation, though, it tracked into the negatives. Their final season playing within the actual boundaries of New York ended with a C-score of negative 3.729. The Washington Redskins beat the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl just the season before, but oddsmakers knew how good the Jets really were. Only the Dallas Cowboys were given better preseason odds to take the title. The Jets were co-favorites with the San Diego Chargers to come out of the AFC. There were real expectations here, even with a new head coach. Walt Michaels took over the head job in 1977, putting up a 23-39 record in his first 4 seasons. With the last of those records sitting at 4-12, and the New York media swarming like they do, the pressure was on, and Michaels wasn't always equipped to handle it. Reports vary, but the official line is that he resigned to take a break from football. Although he coached in the USFL, he never coached another day in the NFL in any capacity. Offensive coordinator Joe Walton was promoted into the top spot, and he had an adjustment period. Offensive numbers were down across the board for the Jets. We gotta do this on a per-game basis here given the 9-game schedule from 1982. But let's also throw in their league rankings to demonstrate this further. They did have more passing yards, but they were putting the ball up much more, as they also took a drop in net yards per attempt. All of this hurt the efforts of the New York Sack Exchange, especially Mark Gastineau, who led the league in sacks, made first-team All-Pro for the second straight season, and he invented his own sack dance, which the No Fun League eventually outlawed. This would be the brawl that put those wheels into motion. The Jets opened the season by defeating the Chargers in San Diego, before losing 2 in a row. This started an unfortunate trend for them, as they never lost any game this season in isolation. Their 9 losses came in the form of 3 2-game losing streaks and a 3-game losing streak. One of those 2 gamers were at the end of the year, sitting at 7-7 and still within striking distance of a 3rd straight trip to the playoffs. Instead, they lost by 27 points at home to the Steelers, then by 20 points on the road in Miami. From a possible playoff appearance to last place in the AFC East in just 2 weeks. It's one thing to have expectations that are instead met by disappointment. But after 11 years of little to no hope before rediscovering those expectations, it's probably going to hurt just a little more. This is the story of the 1983 New York Jets. And they are now ready to take their place on this list with their disappointment score of negative 30.797. This was the first jump of more than 1 point since our number 29 entry. And we'll be doing it again with our number 9 entry, as these disappointment scores are starting to separate from each other. Be sure to join us for that video to find out who it's gonna be. It took a couple of seasons, but the Jets started to gel under Joe Walton, with back-to-back playoff appearances in 1985 and 1986. It gets pretty grim after that. There was the magical 98 seasons under Bill Parcells, and 2 miraculous AFC title game appearances in 2009 and 2010. 2010 is still the last time they were in the playoffs. Only 2 franchises have had the opportunity to compete for a conference championship every season since the 1970 merger without winning one: the Lions and the Jets. And the Lions are certainly closer to that achievement than the Jets are. It might be suggested that the total cost they owe the Devil for winning Super Bowl III has yet to be paid in full. Let me know your thoughts about anything Jets related, whether it be this 83 team, a different team, or the Jets' very existence, such as it is. If you have something else on your mind, let me hear about that too. The comments section is your playground. Thank you so much once again for joining us today, and until next time, I hope you have an awesome day.